How are you doing, everyone? I trust you've been safe and well and training hard. So today I'm making true to my promise. I'm going to teach you how to make some cacciatore sausages. So we're doing it similar to what you would do for salami. You know, as you're probably accustomed to, many people have these hanging in their garage over winter. And because that summer's almost over now, I've gone through all my salami. And while the weather isn't good for making salami, we can make fresh sausages. So today I'll be making them from scratch and teaching you how to do it. It's a bit different to the salami, so do not hang these in your garage because you will probably get sick because we're not using a lot of the salts to fight off the bacteria. So first of all, you want to get yourself some capsicums, red capsicums. Now I'm only doing about a kilo, a bit more than a kilo of pork mince. The reason why I'm doing over a kilo is these aren't a meal that you just have for yourself. It's very much about sharing, and I know my mum's going to be watching this and she's going to be saying, where's mine? So for the amount of pork that we've got, we're going to be using 4 relatively large capsicums. Now you want to choose ones that are not freshly ripe but are on the way out so that they've got that strong flavour. The best bet is to buy these a couple of days in advance, leave them in the sun for about a day or two till they soften up and go really, really ripe. But what you're going to need to do is cut them up, and you're going to need to boil them in some water. So we've got a pot of water here, just lightly salt that. And then you want to cut these. So it just helps it boil faster. Alternatively, you can also, if you want a smoky flavour, you can pop them on the grill just to get that char grill flavour to soften them up. But we're just popping them on the stove in some water. You can also do it in the oven as well. Bake them at like 200 degrees for about 5-10 minutes so they soften up. So there's no real method in how to cut these up. I'm just doing them relatively small so that it all fits into the pot. But we might just smash through this part because I don't want to bore you and waste your time watching a video that you don't need to. All right, so now that we've cut them up, we've got them in a pot of water like that. We don't need to completely immerse them in water, just enough there to boil them down, popped a bit of salt, and now it's time to pop them on the stove. So we've just jammed that on high heat to boil, waiting for the water to boil. It probably takes about 10-15 minutes. And I also want to mention, with the seeds, don't throw them out. Keep them, save yourself some money, plant them in your garden, and you'll have free capsicums, great flavour, great taste. So while we're waiting for that to boil, it's time for a coffee. All right, now for this meal, you will need a food processor of some kind. I've got this old school hand one. It's one that I've had for years. I use it for making tomato sauce, my salami. It's great. It's sturdy. It lasts, suctions. Love it. Can't knock it. You can get electric ones, all different kinds of stuff, but I don't tend to make 200-300 kilos. This is sufficient for me. And you get to burn some calories while you're at it. So yeah, invest in one of these. And while we're waiting for our capsicums, just smashing a couple of espressos. It's a bit of the boring part, waiting for this. Alrighty, so now that we've boiled our capsicums, we're left with this nice, fleshy looking vegetable. And it's time to make our capsicum sauce or our marinade. This is what's going to be going into the mince to give it that cacciatore flavour. And this is a really simple recipe that anyone can do at home. It's nothing complex. And like I said, this is just to do the sausages at home. It's not for salami because if you hang these, you're likely to get sick. And it's not to make a big order or anything like that. So what we're going to do, we're just going to pop all our capsicums straight into our processor here. And we're going to pass it through a few times. So what this machine does effectively is separates the sauce from the skins. Ooh. Make sure it's suctioned on our table. And yeah, just give it a swirl. Make sure it's all lined up so we don't mess the table too much. So you can already see that working. And you can also make your pasta sauce with this machine, which is what I do quite often. I'll go and buy Roma tomatoes, I mix my own sauce. It just adds so much more flavor to your cooking, more organic and just a lot healthier for you because it doesn't have all these preservatives and cancer-causing crap. It's probably why I've got such good guns. And don't be worried if you make too much of this, because if you have too much sauce, you can never have too much. You just pop it into some pasta sauce for extra flavor. So we might have to pass this through a few times. So as you can see, separates the skin, and then there's still a lot of flesh on that. So we go through again. Really easy. You know, I do this with my kids, and my daughter's been doing this ever since she was born, same as my son. It's something I've been doing since I was born as well. It's something I enjoy doing. I quite enjoy cooking. And that's the best part of training, I think, and being healthy and focusing on gym is the meals, you know. And a big part of why I started training is I like to eat. And if you like to eat, you need to come up with a way to make sure you're not putting on too much weight. And what better way to do that than to build muscle? And then you can see from that big pile that we started with, we now have not much left. So you can pass it through a few times. And don't be too worried if some skin gets through. It's not going to hurt you or anything. And it actually adds a bit more flavour. I quite like it when I see those bits of red capsicum skin in there. And there we have it. So now we've got our capsicum puree. There is quite a lot there. It's probably too much for what I've got meat. But like I said, I'm going to use this in my pasta sauce. This is great. It's fantastic. So let's get to the next part. All right, so now we're on to the fun part. So I've got, probably about 1.5 kilos of pork mince here. So another good meat that this marinade or sauce goes with, surprisingly, is kangaroo. So for the best results with this meat, and if you're using kangaroo especially, you want to make sure you do it the day before and let it marinate in the fridge so the flavors go through and the acidity from the capsicums actually starts to break down some of that kangaroo meat and just gives it a more easy texture. For those who eat kangaroo, you'd know that's quite a tough meat. This will actually break down that meat a little bit and make it a bit more softer, a lot more palatable as well for people who don't like the flavor. It is quite a gamey flavor. So first of all, what we want to do is you want to chuck in salt. And again, not as much as you would if you were making salami because we're not curing it. Black cracked pepper. Probably should have minced this up a bit before. So the cracked pepper gives it a great flavour. All right, and we also want to add a bit of chili. So if you don't like chili, you don't need to add it, but we're going to pop a little bit in today for flavour. For this, I'm just using chili flakes, just a little bit. I want to make sure my kids can eat it. Talia quite enjoys it to be a bit spicy, whereas Casey, he's a bit young, doesn't like it. We'll probably only use about half of this because we don't have much meat, but you want to make sure you get that thicker stuff rather than the more watery stuff. All right, and now we just give it a mix. We're going to need to add more to this. I actually think we might use all that because as you can see, that nice red flavour's going through. I can already hear my mum screaming through the phone, "Where's mine? Where's mine?" Yes, I will save you some, maybe. And one of the best things about making this, the sauce and that, and this meal especially, is just that aroma. I love that, smell of the capsicum, and it'll go through the house a bit, and it's quite nice. Quite enjoy it. And our partner, when she comes home, she'll know straight away what I've done, and she'll be like, "Where are they? Where is it?" So as you can see, it's already starting to bond. And we want to make sure it's got a nice red colour in it because that's your flavour. Now, you can do these as burger patties as well if you like. That's another good way of doing it. Or you can do them just as sausages. I might do a bit of both. And obviously, if you're gonna be making your sauce, if you bottle this and let it ferment for a couple of weeks, 2 weeks at least, you get a stronger flavor from it. And we're not going to be putting any skins in or this in any skins. We're just going to be rolling it up. If I had the wood skewers, I'd probably pop it on the skewer. Actually, might put a bit more salt and pepper. Add a bit more chili too, chili flakes. Sorry, Talia, I think you'll like it though. So I want to make the salami. She always make sure you get me a hot one. I want the hot one, I want the spicy one. And it's like putting your tongue on a battery. She'll sit there, oh, water, I need water. I'm like, is it too hot? She's like, nah, more. All right, so now we're looking quite red here, and we don't want to go too much sauce because it can start to get really, really wet, and then it's not gonna be able to cook it. And what we're going to be doing is letting this sit in the fridge for a couple of hours to marinate, and then get it cooking for tonight. And there you go. Let's get cooking. All right, so I know I said I was going to wait to cook them later, but we've got to try it first. Okay. So we've got some olive oil here. Just going to pop it onto the pan. And I also wanted to finish off this video. So we're just going to give it, and we'll just make this one as a burger. We'll just fry them there. Now, in relation to how to cook these, again, on the coals gives you a good flavour, but we're just going to do it in the fry pan today. And there you have it, a simple, easy, effective way to make cacciatore sausages. You know, stay tuned for winter. I might put up the recipe for how to make the salami. But have a look at that. Look at that nice red colour. Now, this is going to get stronger as it marinates in the fridge. Like I said, overnight is better, more beneficial. It really seeps into that meat and gets into all the fibres. But that's just that there is. Oh, it just brings back so many childhood memories. Absolutely delicious. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section. If you make these at home, let me know how you make them differently, because every family makes theirs different. Take care, and remember, keep training.